smoking, but when they hear this song, they'll learn there's more to toking. 25,000 different things we can make from it, and if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life, a benefit to all of us, I wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye, so much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Well, it's pointless telling me where you are because you're all tuned into it. Hemp Works on the Time for Hemp Global International Fantastic Radio Station. And tonight, I've got Sue Rosen. And my first thing I want to say to her, Sue, we've tried to get you on. This is our fourth attempt. We failed miserably the first 3 times. I've got no idea why that worked out. And then during the last week, me and Sue found out we had something, besides having cannabis in our lives, we had something else that's quite interesting. We both had hepatitis C. Is that correct, Sue?
That is correct.
So this is Sue Rosen. Everybody must have read the bio because I've plastered it out everywhere. Registered nurse, primary, burns, trauma, emergency care. It just goes on and on and on and on. So thank you so much for bearing with us, and thank you for being on the show.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I'll take it you're in New York.
Yes, I am.
I'm in
I
London.
live right outside of West Point.
And the motherboard is in Oregon with Casper. So we're very international. We've got a good audience tonight. So, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, tell me what you would like to know. I think you said it all. I'm a registered nurse.
Oh, that's it. The show's over.
I've been a registered nurse for approximately 30 years. I am not working as a practitioner any longer. Because of the Hep C, and I've gotten really into advocating and whatnot. I was a big advocate for Hep C nurses during the time that I found out I had Hep C, because a lot of us get blacklisted,
Yep.
and I certainly did. I certainly endured a lot from that because at the time I had a surgery done, and I was in a hospital, and of course everyone looks at your chart because they know you, and so everybody had access to my medical records, which no longer is legal to do, but at that time it was.
Can you put a year on this? What year was this?
This was 1999.
99. So actually, that's okay. Go for it.
Yeah, it was 2 years before HIPAA.
Yeah.
So of course everybody denied it, but after I was going to leave one job and going to another, they suddenly had a job freeze, and I just know too many people to have believed that until someone said to me on the phone, "We heard you were coming here to work, but you're sick and you have hepatitis C."
So, for those, obviously, I'm very aware of what hepatitis C was because I contracted it when I was 19 years of age, and I'm now 57, yeah? But it didn't really affect me until about 4 years ago, yeah? So, I know what Hep C. Can you tell us a little bit about Hep C?
Yeah. Hepatitis, anything ending in itis is an inflammation. So, hepatitis is a virus, and it's an inflammation of the liver. It's due to a viral infection, and it can be due to non-viral causes. The most common of there is due to the effects of alcohol. But viral hepatitis is transmitted through blood-to-blood or sexual contact, and these include hepatitis B, C, and the other hepatitises. Hepatitis A is a viral infection. That's through contaminated food and usually self-limiting. And as we all know, the liver is called the liver because we can't live without it. And it's an organ that is active in metabolism, of alcohol and drugs. And long repeated use of substances can cause liver trauma and lead to hepatitis. But hepatitis C, we never used to call it that. And I never saw a hepatitis C patient until I was told I had hepatitis C. We used to call it hepatitis non-A, non-B, and this was usually patients from dialysis, because they have repeated blood transfusions and whatnot. It's a kind of like we don't have symptoms. I don't know how you said how long it was that you were diagnosed.
I was diagnosed at the age of 30, but I contracted it when I was 19.
Okay. So any non-specific symptoms you would have would be like anything else, fatigue, you could be, tired, not hungry, nausea, you could have liver or abdominal pain, but nothing that you would put your finger on. So that's what hepatitis C is. Again, it is transmitted through blood, shared needles, accidental needle stick injuries, which probably was my case. If you received a blood transfusion prior to 1990,
that's me.
And even to a minor degree from unprotected sex, but then you would have to break through the blood barrier. Some infected tattoo needles, they claimed. Dental instruments were definitely. And tools used in commercial nail care could also transfer the HCV virus. And it lives longer than HIV, and that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand, is cleaning up blood, which is, was very much part of my profession. We took blood baths. We did. So that's why it's called a silent killer. You can have it for decades, go unrecognized. I can't really pinpoint when I got it, but I think that every time I, left a job and went to another job, we have to have, blood panel drawn, and we were all, always tested for hepatitis, and it would have come back. I would have had something come back, and I didn't. I didn't as of, I would say, let's see, 1989, I think. And then for any needle sticks or anything like that, or blood in the eyes or, whatever, they only tested us for HIV. I was even in a program for 2 years I agreed to be in to follow people that are involved in, a lot of trauma, and to see why some of us do get the HIV virus and some of us don't. So, and that was done by the CDC, and one of the trauma docs I was working with, he had done it too. So for 2 years, we went through that process, of getting blood drawn like every 3 months. And whatever they did with our blood, they wanted to see what was in it.
Yeah.
But I got the hepatitis C, and they did not tell me that, and I guess they didn't test me for that.
Yeah.
Until the fact came where they were testing any blood donors. So that's where I'm at, that's what happened to me. And again, this disease goes unrecognized, so during decades, it could continue to slowly destroy liver cells without any patient having any idea that this is happening.
Yeah, it's very insidious the way it creeps into your life because it does it so slowly.
Yeah, it certainly
does.
Bit
by bit. I'd just like to point out, 1987 was when I was diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, I was under a Professor Williams, and he is most probably now the world's leading expert on hepatitis C.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1987, I think he had identified that there was a different virus to the A and the B, which is now called C. It was actually Professor Williams that really identified that. So prior to 1985, they didn't really have this hepatitis C. They wasn't so aware of it, And it was only the work of Professor Williams at King's College Hospital in London at the liver transplant centre there, that he started to really study that. Yeah, and I was lucky enough; I was under him. And as you say, before 1985, they wasn't really testing for it, even though it's now been it's been proven that the virus most probably originated from a jail in Arkansas. It's called tainted blood. And they were basically taking blood from death row inmates, and they was also using them for medical experiments to inject them with things like HIV, hepatitis C, and various other gnarly diseases. Yeah. Also, Professor Williams, not so long ago, which really surprised me. I'm an ex-nurse as well, by the way, so yeah. They identified that the hepatitis C virus could remain active inside of dry blood up to 90 days.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. So
yes.
If somebody, like, the nail parlour one is very interesting. Now, I know back then we didn't really have nail parlours. They're a very sort of newish thing. But through dental treatment, if they wasn't using proper sterilised equipment at the time, then if one spot of blood was on any of those instruments, the virus, if it had been in that blood, would have stayed live for 90 days, which means if your mouth bled and that blood contaminated with the virus blood, you could catch it. So it is an awful disease to have because you are so infectious.
Right. Yeah, you are.
You really are.
And that's why I think I was blacklisted, because there was a fear. And in fact, they even had a radio show going on about me when it was released to the newspapers, because I had filed a discrimination lawsuit. And the CDC started to follow my suit also. But, you know, it's really interesting how people feared me, or not even people, because how would people know what I had? But the hospitals did. You know, they didn't want to be bothered with those of us with viruses that are caused by blood. Who was I going to bleed into? You know.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty interesting time of my life. At that time, I had been one of the few that was on interferon and ribavirin. That's when they first started using it in this country, in the U.S.
Yeah.
Shearing Plow had come up with the cocktail, and I got really sick from the side effects, and
yeah, it's
they were giving it to me.
Horrible.
Yeah, I got really sick, and I wasn't sick before, and I haven't been sick after. So after 4 months of doing that, I took myself off, and then I kind of went into a denial phase.
Yeah.
You know, which we all do.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of pressure from everybody. Oh, you know, now they don't do it the same way. And, well, it's still interferon and ribavirin. Sorry, but I had a bad experience, you know, and most patients do. And that's why most people go off the medication, because the medication itself does more damage to you, in my opinion, than staying on it. It's chemotherapy. That is what it is, chemotherapy.
It's evil chemotherapy. And just to bring everybody up to speed, the course is actually 49 weeks, where you have to inject yourself nowadays once a week with the interferon, and then you take 5 pills per day of the ribavirin. And the ribavirin has now been taken off the market because it is so dangerous to the liver. Even the FDA have put their hands up and gone, that is not a form of treatment. I can only say for my own self, 49 weeks of absolutely living hell. I would have rather have been crucified, looking back. Yeah, it's nothing. It's the most horrible and disgusting virus you could ever think of. It literally eats you away. And when you take this ribavirin and interferon, and I have to praise it because I managed to do the full course, and it did cure my hepatitis C. Yeah. But at the end of it, I really wasn't. I died twice on the course. Yeah. And at the end of it, I was 6.5 stone with no hair, no teeth, and no nails, and I was bleeding from virtually every orifice, and all my skin just used to bleed as well. It's like, and obviously having the infection, I had a granddaughter that was born to me, and I couldn't even go near her. My son and his partner said it was fine, but I just couldn't go near her. I mean, the thought of picking her up and having one spot of blood on a newborn baby and that she might have grown up, it was just impossible. You tend to shut yourself away. You become like a leper. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You really
and
do. I would immediately say to anyone, if I had cut myself or something, please don't touch my blood.
Yeah. It's a very, very, very strange thing. So now I was lucky that particular drug did get rid of the hep. Unfortunately, it took my liver out. So on the day that I got my all clear after 3 months of finishing the course and surviving it I went back and I got the scan thing, and they said, well, you cleared the hepatitis C, but your liver is now completely gone. Yeah. Oh. So that was an interesting day.
Did you have a liver transplant?
No, I took cannabis, loads of it. I used the Rick Simpson oil of method. I went to India for 3 months. I took the raw plant through raw juice, and I'd done yoga and swimming. And very, very quickly, I started to regenerate. When I came back to England, I took about 6 months of quite a lot of this, what we call Rick Simpson oil or cannabis medicine, the extract, And for 6 months, then I went back to see the doctor, and he said, I don't have Hep C, I don't have any sign of any cancer, my liver's all nice and pink. I also had 4 bandings, which is like scarring inside of the liver, but they have to put bandings around to stop it bleeding. They had also disappeared and gone. And I must admit, I'm now 14 months cancer-free, and I've spent the last 14 months really repairing the damage of the original treatment. Yeah, so I totally agree with you that the interferon ribavirin, before you go there, really try and have a look to see what else is available, because it is many people die from it, many people can't finish the course, and it's just wow.
Most people do go off of it because of the side effects. They're too devastating. They work for me, and I'm a pretty tough cookie. I mean, I've been run over by a car. And I'm generally not afraid of things, but I became really fearful, which is one of the side effects also from the medication. Now, I would never tell anybody, don't do it, because you have to do what is right for you.
Yeah.
But for me, it wasn't right for me. My body didn't adapt to it.
I don't think anybody's does, so it's just that, I don't know. I've met people that have done it twice, actually. I'm just absolutely gobsmacked that they can do that. To take it once is just, it's not right. It's really not right at all.
Yeah.
They must find a better way of curing. So, can you bring us, right, we're 26, and we're going to go for a break at 28. So, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not advising nobody not to take it, but really look into it and make sure that you're going to surround yourself with some of the things that you might need, which is a really caring and loving group of friends or family, because it's a long 49 weeks and it's a very lonely trip, and it does do a lot of things. It affects you very mentally. You get like a brain fog where your brain stops working, and you can't sleep and you can't eat, and it's just, I can go there, I can revisit it now, and sometimes I look back at what it put me through, and I'm absolutely amazed that my body survived it. But there you go. And the other thing that I'd like to point out is when you're taking it, this is a cure, you really have to learn. When you take the injection, you're going to be really ill for about 4 or 5 days, and then you buck up a little bit, and then it's time for the next one. You actually have to love it. You have to say to that drug, I love you, before you put it in there. Because it's curing you. But my God, what it puts you through. Incredible. Yeah. So should we go for an early break a little bit for a minute early then, Casper? And I want to come back on the second bit, and I want to talk to Sue a bit more about what she's doing with her healthcare now. Are you there, Casper? Take a break.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
The planet with cannabis, cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
We're back. Lovely. Sue's still there. She's still in New York. What time is it there, Sue? What's happening
Here,
in New York
it's
today? Get down over New York.
2:30, I think. I think it's
In the afternoon?
Yeah, 2:30 New York time.
1,430 hours. And how is New York today? Sunny, wet, rainy, normal?
Rainy.
Rainy.
Rainy. It's been rainy all week.
Oh,
It's been rainy all week. That's okay, though. I planted a garden, so.
Oh,
it can rain.
we got beautiful, beautiful sunshine. I live in a seaside town on the south coast, and it's
Oh, nice. Very nice.
yeah,
Very nice.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So right, we better go on with the show. So what are you doing for healthcare now? You're not doing the Riverviver and that horrible other interferon. What a name for a drug. Interferon. If they don't tell you what it is, I don't know what is. It's got on the label. So
it was that was used as a test drug, for cancer patients.
Yeah.
and it didn't fly. So I guess they thought they would take the group of us.
Yeah, they all had it anyway. They're all no-opers.
Yeah, and they figured, let's experiment, because
cool.
that's
The other thing to
what
point
it's
out
all
as
about.
well, it's a bit of a baby boomers, because it sits in the body for so long before you start recognising it. It's this age group of sort of 45 and plus that are really the age group that are. They say that it is an epidemic, and they don't quite know how big it is going to be. Yeah, and we're really the first wave of it. Yeah,
we are the first wave of it. Baby boomers. If you look back in time, go into the 80s when HIV was called HTLV3.
The other thing was with the tainted blood is basically they were giving out blood transfusions from this tainted blood that was coming from Arkansas jail, because we had.
Yeah, that was the same way here. It was people went and donated blood. They didn't have any money, and they were shooting drugs and what have you. A lot of different ways, though. A lot of different ways. Cocaine was the big drug of choice. Yeah. Come on, Eric Clapton had his #1 hit song, "Cocaine."
Yeah, absolutely, spent a fortune.
So off the end of a straw, that is a blood. That's a blood transfer.
That's a blood transfer. People forget that, especially that anybody listening in the UK, we've got a real cocaine problem going on in the clubs up here. If you are going to take it, do not share a note. Do not share a note. Because that cocaine stuff is a bit glass-like, and it's normal for the nasal passage to start bleeding. One drop of that blood that's come from a hepatitis C infected person who don't even know they've got it is then transferred around that whole crowd. One person, a few of you in the toilet sniffing up your stuff, and all of a sudden 4 of you got it, and you might even know you got it for the next 20 years. Yeah, use your own straw if you need to take this horrible stuff. Yeah, and also go and if you're over the age of 45. Go and get tested. Get tested. Be safe. Yeah. I think that's the message that's coming out. Find out if you've got it, because one, you obviously don't want to contaminate anybody else, and you can get rid of this problem. Yeah. So bring it on to that. So where are you at the moment with the Hep C? Are you clear, or are you still?
I'm a teeny bit viral load.
Teeny viral. That's okay. Well,
I have a teeny viral load. My last biopsy was 5 years ago, and I had no more scarring. It was remarkable, and not that I had full blown scarring either, but it was just remarkable, the change within a 10-year phase, that I went through. When I stopped interferon, I did a liver cleansing diet, and anybody can look that up. That's out there. But there's Dr. Susan, I think her name is Dr. Susan Foreman, and she has a really easy one to do. It's not difficult. We know so much now about how foods can help cure you. So I did the liver cleansing diet. From there, I had gone in search of what we call botanical. Do you know what a botanical is in the U.S.?
No, let's explain it.
Okay, a botanical in the U.S. is mainly Hispanic people go there. And there's a lot of, witches' brews and different kinds of things, different kinds of charms, they're really interesting to go into. I had moved into Orange County, New York, which is by West Point, and so I'm up in the mountains now. So I'm out of the city area. So I really had to go searching, and I did. I got in the truck, and I just kept riding until I found one. And this old man was running it, and he had quite a big place. And he saw me looking around, and he said, we started talking. He said, is there anything I can help you with? So I said, well, I have hepatitis C. I said, and so I'm just interested in finding out some, if there's anything good here. What he gave me vitamin C crystals and milk thistle. And then he explained to me how to do the vitamin C crystals, because as he explained back to me, the non-professional, and me being the professional, well, vitamin C helps viruses. So why wouldn't you use, vitamin C? I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So what he had me do was he had me take some vitamin C every 2 hours, the crystals, mix them in water, and drink it. And then every 2 hours, increase what I was taking, keeping track of the milligrams. And when I got to the point, and this is going to sound disgusting, where I got diarrhea, but 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C will do that to you. Then I was to back off to find my maintenance dose. And then I also took, milk thistle and a whole array of different herbs and an oil. So the short answer for everything is yes. Medical cannabis does help. It does help liver impairment, and especially for those people that do undergo the chemotherapy for Hep C. Because a lot of them end up, with it is the leading cause of liver cancer. It's the leading cause of liver transplants in the U.S., but the liver can regenerate itself.
It's even beyond this. I was below that point where they say it can't, but mine has. Yeah. And my doctor says it's a miracle, and I told him it's cannabis. Yeah, that's the miracle.
But there you go. So that's the short answer, and it stimulates your appetite. It's going to reduce the nausea and vomiting, all those things that we know that it does with chemo. Yeah. And since again I did say that the interferon combination drug therapy is chemo. So those with cancer or cirrhosis, get a lot of joint pain and headache. Yeah. And cannabis is far less toxic than other medications. Yeah. When we look around, in the world today, with all of the OxyContin and the Vicodin.
Which are all liver destroying.
Not just liver destroying. You know what? Many years ago, we only used those drugs for cancer patients with deep pain. Yeah. Okay, so you had to be, right at your end. And then what happened was the pharmaceutical industry, they're a very interesting industry. And everybody interrelates, and you know that. I'm sure, in England it's the same way. Big farm, we have big farm and we have big insurance. Yes. That you don't have to deal with, but we do. And they dictate norms. So as far as medications are concerned, I'm sorry, I have a Doberman Pinscher puppy.
Hello, Doberman.
She wants attention. Hi,
hello.
Nikki.
What's
okay,
the
Nikki, be good girl. Nikki.
Mickey. Hello, Mickey.
Nikki's taking a bone and wandering off. Okay. Anyway, so they dictate the standards and they dictate the levels of what somebody should be. Even with what we call vital signs, and that would be your temperature, blood pressure, and your pulse rate. Those are your vital signs. Pain is not a vital sign, but it suddenly got added in as one. Now, if I say to you on a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how much pain you're in, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, everybody's going to make it 10. Come on. And that's subjective. Pain is subjective. So it should have never happened that way. Maybe people weren't getting medicated enough. I don't know. I certainly made sure I got my docs to, get somebody out of pain. I took care of burn patients. That's a whole different avenue.
Oh my God! Burn patients is like, because they can't use these morphine-based, heroin-based drugs, can they? On that, because it makes them itch.
Burn patients, we used a lot of morphine.
In the UK they won't, because it makes people itch, and obviously with a burns patient, so they don't get that. Yeah. That's quite interesting. Have you ever seen this extract oil on a burn?
I'm sorry?
This, what we call this Rick Simpson or extract of this cannabis plant. Have you ever seen it this oil put onto a burn?
No. I did burn care a long time ago.
So
but I did see it in. Let me just say something though. I did see it in Mexico where they were mixing. They made like a paste, and it was with aloe and CBD oil and some other essential oils, and mixed it as a paste. Aloe, you know how it grows all over the place in Mexico and in any of those warm areas. So they have all of this right at their fingertips to, just pull and take advantage of. Yes, it's very, 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 it's very good for wounds. It's very good for wound care. I mean, look at Rick Simpson, if you've ever seen skin cancer, same thing. And then it's really, important if we're going to cure anything, if we're going to cure a disease, you got to try to avoid that toxicity.
Yeah.
There's always been that, that feeling about, if you have cancer, the chemo will kill you if the cancer doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. You've probably heard that.
Yeah.
And then additionally, the cannabis-based food products, they have some extra nutrition without taxing the liver. So that's very important stuff to know, that chemical components of cannabis, the cannabinoids, may actually reduce liver inflammation, slow the progression, of both cirrhosis or liver cancer. Cannabinoids have powerful anti-inflammatories and antioxidants, and we're all into antioxidants. We love them, right?
Yeah.
They also have what's called some anti-neoplastic activity, and that would be like in the case of what's called a glioma, and that's a type of brain cancer. It's a tumor. Cannabinoids have been shown to slow the progress of that cell death in normal cells, while accelerating in cancer cells. So that's very important. And people are, start on the lung cancer stuff. And lung cancer, no one's going to smoke pot at the same pace someone that smokes tobacco. Tobacco's addictive.
Mm-hmm. And
cannabis is not. And you're not going to. You'll fall asleep anyway. Attempting to do so, So the smoking part is just, I don't know, it's just one of those things that they need another excuse for. But, whole cannabis, whether it's smoked, vaporized, made into an oil or a food product, there is another prescription drug out there, and it's called Marinol.
Oh.
And do you know what that is?
Yep.
Okay. I'm sure some of the listeners probably don't, right? And what Marinol is, it contains one cannabinoid, but it lacks the rest of the healing properties of the whole herb and its extracts. Like Dr. Sanjay Gupta out here, he said on television, you need the whole plant.
You do. You need the whole plant.
You need the whole plant
and nothing but the plant.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marinol was what they started doing with Marinol was, and I believe that was in the 80s also, was they developed it for HIV patients, and that's who they were trying it on. But these were very advanced HIV patients, and of course they didn't have enough in there. And so then, but it's still around, And I guess they've done other things with it and progressed on how it works, because we give it to my mother she has Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So of course it does stimulate her appetite, and it does kind of make her clear.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good,
Well, yes and no, because if you have access to the whole plant and the fresh plant, I've seen people with Alzheimer's mix it with coconut and with remarkable success. Mm-hmm. So again, why are we using a substitute when we have the real stuff? It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's all. We know why that is, right?
Politics.
Yeah.
And what place has politics got in what? Why does politics get itself involved in healthcare. That's for doctors and scientists and researchers and nurses and doctors. They're the people, and patients should be able to choose their own medicine, especially when it's plant-based.
Mm-hmm. And we have the right, to use alternative healing methods.
Yeah.
That is within our right.
Yeah.
So, even when new drugs are being developed, they put it out there to the public and say, would you like to be a part of this, this test? And so it's there. And the control on cannabis, I really think it's not the medical. I really think that, in my opinion, in my unbiased opinion, I think it is all about the hemp. Because it's fiber, fuel, and food.
It could well be. And I agree with that, because I've been a hemp farmer since I've worked with hemp since 1995 professionally.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I've grown it, I've manufactured it, I've turned it into all sorts of things. I'm glad the medicine come along, because it saved my life and it's saving lots of other people's life. But I've always felt that the smoke screen was the recreational and the medical. They were really trying to hide the use of hemp or the agricultural side for industrial purposes. That's the one that really scares them.
Yeah, it does. Because Henry Ford did build a car that could run on hemp.
We've got to take another break and pay the adverts. We've got to get the sponsors on. Okay, we can take another little 4-minute break, and then we come back after that break. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis, it's a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed.
We are going to save the planet with cannabis, and that's that. Okay, a couple of big shout outs going out to my favourite charity, Hemp Works, charityuk.org. I love you. A big shout out going out to Dr. Beth Fisher, because she's moved today. I believe she might have even landed in her new home. So I hope you landed very well, Dr. Beth, if you're listening in. And I'm going straight back on to Sue. So, Sue, right, you're in New York. I've always thought of New York as a very sort of liberal city, and it's had some amazing people live in New York. And so what's the situation on this medical marijuana stuff in New York?
Well, New York, what a fiasco this is. The New York Assembly passed what we have called the Compassionate Care Act, like I think for the it was the fifth time on May 27th of this year. But this bill has never received one vote from the Senate floor. So a couple of people got together and they made some TV ad commercials, to urge Governor Cuomo in order to push it. Elected officials, to allow a vote in the Senate. I mean, even a Dr. Richard Carlton, his wife suffers from advanced Parkinson's disease. So he made a commercial, again, speaking about his wife and how we have an overwhelming majority of New Yorkers who believe in medical this, and it should be available to them, and yet it's not. It's just not. We have what's called the Senate. Okay, and that's the Healthcare Senate. And then what it does what they're doing in New York is they then push it over once it's approved into what's called the Finance Committee, Senate Finance Committee. The chair of the Senate Finance Committee has said that he will not allow a vote on medical cannabis. So the people in New York, they're really, really pissed off. They really are.
Right. So can I just get this straight? The people of New York, the people that live there and pay the tax and God knows what else, they overwhelmingly, by a very large percentage, want this medical cannabis available to them for obvious reasons, to all those people that know about this stuff because it works. And then some sort of government elected officials are playing what we call silly buggers.
Yeah.
They're not allowing through what the people want. Is that correct?
No, they're not. They're not. And in fact, I posted on quite a few areas today, saying like, how come? First of all, don't they have a boss? Isn't he the governor? And doesn't the governor have a boss? And isn't that us?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Aren't you the boss of the governor? Didn't you elect him to do the bidding
Who
of the
elected
people?
you? We did, and you're going to run again. You know, so there's all kinds of things going on. We have Occupy Weed Street now in New York City, and big kudos out to Lorna Shannon and to my friend Harrison, to Sora, and they're fantastic. These kids, they really are. You know, they're out there. They're banging on the streets. You know, they're holding up signs. They're having parades, and they're doing a lot. They're making noise. I mean, we always have at the games. It'll always say up there on the board that flashes, "Make some noise." Well, make some noise. You know, is exactly what we're talking about. So everybody's calling Governor Cuomo today to tell him to get on it.
So you've got a guy that's supposedly elected by the people called Mr. Cromer, yeah? Because I can't use the word governor because that's just, he doesn't deserve that title. And Mr. Cromer, Mr. Nobody, that can't be bothered to read the scientific research, can't be listening to the overwhelming majority of the people that pay your wages. He's the one that's blocking it. Is that correct? Yeah. Mr. Cromer, you are an arsehole, mate. You seriously, if one of your family was sick, right, and you had the choice of taking these awful invasive treatments that are given over by the PLC medical companies, and if you could see what this cannabis medicine would do, I'm sure you'd be on our side. What do you think you're doing, Mr. Cromer? Telling the people that they can't have what they want when they elected you? I mean, how dim do you have to be? Sorry, it's like, I'll tell you how it is. Yeah? Who is this guy? Is he got
the Senate Finance Committee Chairman of New York is John DeFrancisco.
And is he
I hope everyone hears that name. And he said he has no plans to move a bill that would legalize medical marijuana out of his committee, and he says there's too many uncertainties remain about the drug. Now, you and I both know that this drug has been studied, this drug. It was used before. It's been used throughout history. But, I mean, you know, you're going to study it to death now. You know? I mean, really, uncertainties about what? I have never taken care of a cannabis overdose. I've never taken care of anybody that died from cannabis or even got ill from it. So, I don't know. These test studies that they do show no adverse effects. Come on, the U.S. already has a patent on cannabis.
The UK's got 5, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what is that? What is that?
What are they saying? They got patents on the plant that they said they ain't got any medical benefits. Well, I'll tell you what then. If you ain't got no medical benefits, give me the patent. I'll buy it off. I'll give you $10 for it. Huh? Ain't no value to them because you ain't got no medical benefit. Sell it to me. Huh? I bet they won't, will they? I bet they wouldn't sell that for $10 million. Because they know what it's worth. And also as well, I'm a being of love, and I forgive these guys. But I tell you what, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but maybe if you caught a cancer or one of these other nasty diseases and problems that are out there that a lot of people are suffering from, right? Maybe that's what it will take for you to change your mind. Yeah. So if that befalls you, Mr. Cromer and that other guy, so be it. Yeah. Because it's on your head. Because you're stopping people from getting better. You're making people suffer. The blood is on your hands.
Did you know that New York State is partnering with a British company to hold clinical trials?
Oh, I know all about it. Don't get me started on
GW Pharmaceuticals.
Don't even go there. I do. Casper, we've done exposés on them. I've talked to them. It's just that, excuse my language, it's a crock of shit. Complete crock of shit. They want to sell medical marijuana, 5 grams for £373. 5 grams of medical marijuana. Well, 5 grams of marijuana, basically. They call it medical. It's all marijuana's medical.
Yes, it is. Yes,
now,
it
I
is.
don't know I've got no idea what the street price is in New York, but I wouldn't have thought it works out over like nearly over 100.
5 pounds. 5 pounds of marijuana in New York. Jeez.
5
I'd
grams.
have to ask my nephew.
Well, I can tell you what it is in London. It'll be about £50, and they want nearly £400 for it. We worked it out last night. It's about a 1,300% markup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, come on, guys. You know, well, we're going to make a profit. But
well, see, that's what they want. What they want to do is they want a marijuana-based drug for people under the age of 18. You know, marijuana-based. So what does that mean? What do you mean marijuana-based? Is it going to be marijuana, or is it going to be some other stuff in there?
It's a full-blown plant extract. Now, okay.
You know, I mean, this is helping those kids. You know, the kids with Dravet syndrome. That's that rare form of epilepsy.
Yeah,
they get up to 100 seizures a day. They're all moving to Colorado.
So
they're all moving out there. There's a couple places too in California and Colorado and Washington. We have the Realm of Caring. We have Safe Access.
Realm of Caring. God bless you, people.
You know, and they're helping these children. In fact, when was it? 2 weeks ago, I had a call from a young lady, and she told me that her father had stomach cancer, and he was stage 4. So stage 4, you know, you're kind of like almost on your way out.
The clock has run out. The parking meter is finished. It's time to leave. Time's out, isn't it? Stage 4, time out. That's finished. You're over and done with. Unless you use cannabis treatment, because so many people have come back from stage 4 problems and live to tell the tale.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be really interesting, being that this is like a personal friend, because I hooked him up with Safe Access. I like the team that they have, as far as, you know, their team of professionals, and they talked to him for a long time, and he already left. He's in California now.
So, believe it or not, the hour has passed. I could sit here and talk to you for absolute hours. I'm so pleased that we've got together. I'm actually going to class you as my friend. Yeah, you're my Hep C in New York. We've obviously got a lot more to explore. Unfortunately, the clock has passed on us, but it's not terminal because we can come back anytime we like. So, have you got any big shout out? How do people find you? What do they do? How do they get hold of you? Where's all this information that you're holding? Come on.
I'm on Facebook. I have the Marijuana Forum. I'm a member of NORML. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Sue DiGregorio Rosen, RN. I have a Marijuana Forum on there. I'm pretty easy to find. I really am. I can be reached on my cell phone. If someone wanted to call me, they could. You know, and I can post that. You know, there's a lot of different avenues of finding me, just like you did.
Brilliant. Well, as I say, I think we've got a lot more work to do and explore this hepatitis C and how good quality diet and the use of extracts of cannabis can actually definitely prolong your life. If you're lucky like me, it will give you a completely new lease of life. And by the way, I started out today, I was with another guy today that's got Hep C, had a liver transplant, but the Hep C is now attacking that liver. He's been on the cannabis diet and he's just got the all clear. Brilliant.
Good.
Okay. Fair play, mate. And his doctor said, oh, well, I don't think that's worked. He said, well, there's nothing now. Oh, I'll see you in a year. It's ridiculous. We've got to go, Sue. We've gone.
Okay.
It's been a delight talking to you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry it took so many. It was meant to be about the Hep C thing because we might have had a conversation before this and not brought that one up. Hep C people, stay strong, keep researching. Yeah, it's not the end of time, and we can do a lot for you if you take time out for us. Casper, I love you. Thank you so much for letting us on air again. Good night and good afternoon.